Welcome to this live webinar. Okay, so I especially welcome every one of us on this webinar this evening. So from wherever you are joining us in the world, all right, wherever you're joining us from in the world, I want you to drop your name. I want you to drop your location. Okay, so this is a Analytics live webinar where we are going to be learning about some, projects that are supposed to be in your portfolio as a data engineer, as a data analyst, as a data scientist. Okay, so but we are gonna be having, a swell time. We're gonna be having fun, learning a whole lot. These are the data projects that I can put in my portfolio because we know that things have changed. Okay, we are in the advent of things where recruiters are basically looking for, professionals that have skills to show for, what they say they know how to do. Okay, so what are some of the projects that you want to look out for? These are some of the projects that the recruiters out there they're looking out for because these projects they spell some sort of corporate experience. Okay, so if you have been in the corporate space for a while as either a data engineer, a data analyst, or whichever, you would have, encountered one or two of these projects. Okay, so it's always a some sort of a must-have, all right, when you are looking to land a role. Okay, so now like I was saying, I want us to get, very, very comfortable. We're going to be having an interesting time learning. We have a seasoned professional who is going to be, sharing their vast wealth of knowledge with us, this evening. But again, before we fully get into the session, I want us to, like I said, get really relaxed, very comfortable. I want us to drop our names and where we're joining from in the chat. So you can just quickly throw that in the chat so I know that you are following. Okay, so it can be a James from Liberia, it could be a Samuel from Ghana, it could be a Brian from UK. So can we throw all of those in the chat? Okay, so I'm going to be looking for that to see, who we have on the call, where we're joining from. So I have Emmanuel from Nigeria. Hi, Emmanuel. Welcome to this session. Welcome to this live webinar. Okay, there's going to be a whole lot to learn. We've got special discount, and promos for people that are going to wait to the end of this session. All right. So is this class for a data analyst? So Kelvin, this is a live webinar that you will be learning about some major, projects that you need to have in your portfolio. Okay, so you're looking to land a role. These are the projects that recruiters are going to be looking forward to. All right. So Emanuela from UK. Hi, Emanuela. Welcome to the session. So we're going to be exposing you to a few of these projects. We have Debbie from the UK. Hi, Debbie. We have Debbie from Scotland. So please just drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat, and then we are diving into this session in about a bit. Now, before I go on, unless I forget, right, this entire session is going to be recorded, okay? And then all the resources that are used for presentation, all right? Hi, Samuel from the UK. Hi, Samuel, nice to have you on the session. So all the resources used for, this entire presentation, the live recordings, they will be made available to every one of us at the end of the session. But all you have to do is there's an attendance form that is being passed in the chat. So you want to go ahead and fill in that attendance form. Okay, so once you fill in that attendance form, you will have access to all the resources that are used this evening. All right. So let's jump right into this. Let me share my screen. 1 second, please. All right, so I think my screen is live now. All right. All right. Okay, so I think my screen should be up now. All right. So like I said, we are going to be, literally checking out the top data engineering, data analysts, or data scientists projects that recruiters want in your portfolio. Now, what do we have for this evening? So quickly, what are we doing today? So first of all, we're walking us through all of those projects that we need to have in our portfolio as data analysts, data engineers, data scientists. These are the must-have projects, right? So we're going to walk you through a couple of them. We're going to walk you through the pathway to becoming a data engineer or a data analyst or even a data scientist, right? Then thirdly, we're going to let you know about Tenalytics growth internship program. So we have an internship program. And then finally, our special discount offer to you. So I have a special discount offer to those that wait till the end of the session. So I'm sorry, but it's only available for those that wait till the end of the session. Okay. So, but again, you don't want to forget to fill in, those attendance form that is being passed in the chat. That is the only way you can get access to all of the materials used this evening and, get the recording of the session. So now let's dive into this very, very quickly. So first of all, about Analytics. Okay. So the convener, the host of this live webinar. Who are we? What do we stand for? All right, so we are a leading edtech firm helping Africans and the people of the Black community, learn premium tech skills and lower the entry barrier into tech. Okay, so basically, what am I trying to say? We are a firm that exists to bridge that gap, between the classroom experience and transitioning into your tech role, or let's assume you're looking to transition from a non-tech role, from a non-tech background into the tech space. All right. So we exist to lower all of that, entry barrier into tech. And how do we do this? Through a numerous of our course offerings, right? Like data analytics, like business analysis, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, HR analytics, and agile project management and Scrum Master. Okay, so now that's a very, very brief one about us. Now, about me, okay, so my name is Faluba Mobolaji. I'm a data scientist and an MLOps engineer with half a decade of experience in data analytics and AI engineering. So I'm going to be facilitating this evening's live webinar. Right, I have so my experience span data science and MLOps, Simplified UX USA, data analytics, Moise Consulting Canada, and AI engineering, Zara Health Limited in Nigeria. So I've worked in the health sector, the financial services, and the ed tech sector. All right. So as I was saying, I'm going to bring to the mic right now our seasoned professional for this evening. Okay, so he's going to be introducing himself in just about a second, and then he's going to go ahead and kick off, exposing us to all of those projects that we are going to be looking at this evening. So, hi, Ojoayo. Good evening. Are you there?
Bolaji, good evening to you too. I'm doing great. And also to every one of us that are joining
So
us
you're
in this
muted.
session.
I'm not sure we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me
Okay,
now?
go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Good evening once again, Bolaji.
Good
And to every
evening.
one of us that's joining us in this session, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us. My name is Ojoayo Kutade. I'm Senior Data Engineering Associate with Analytics. I am a highly skilled data professional, with over 5 years of experience in data engineering, web scraping, and also machine learning. And one thing I'm focused on doing with data is to deliver innovative solution. And my experience spans across areas like data pipeline design and automation, big data technologies, and cloud platform integration, advanced web scraping, and structured data transformation, And I've been able to apply, this my skill across diverse sector, including the ed tech and also the supply chain industry. And one fun thing about me is that I love football. You might not be saying it now, but you might not be saying it on your slide, but I love football and and just watching movies and the likes. So that's just one fun thing about me. Over to you, Bolaji.
Thank you so much, Ojoayo. All right, so we have a senior data engineer who is also a soccer fan. All right, so like I said, we're going to be having a fantastic time this evening. So before I bring back Ojoayo, all right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. All right, again, you will have access to this evening's resources and the slides, the recordings, only if you fill in the attendance form that is being passed in the chat. Okay, so you want to go ahead and fill in the attendance form and you can get access to all of the resources. So Ojoyo, you can go ahead and share your screen and we can get started.
All right, everyone. Once again, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And as you know, we're talking about top projects that you should have under your belt that's going to make a recruiter have a second look at your profile. If possible, also hire you. But before we just go right into the project, let us know why you must even have them in the first place. I know everybody has just been talking about build project, build project. Yes, build project is very, very important for visibility, is to showcase your expertise, is even is even for your personal development. But why really? And one thing you should know is that in the world of data engineering, data science, data analysis, or in the tech world, in tech world generally, a resume lists your skills. Yeah, it's very easy to say this is what I can do. But a portfolio proves that yes, this guy, this lady, this man can really do what he says or he has written that he can do. And recruiters, hiring managers, even CEOs are not just looking for anybody that knows the theory. While theory is a very, very wonderful and fantastic knowledge to have, you must also have the hands-on experience. That is the ability. While you have the knowledge, you must have the ability, and you must know when you can make use of that thing, make use of that knowledge in various problems, and how you can use it to solve solutions in the organization or even for yourself. And one thing you should also know is that a well-documented project is it goes a long way, and it goes a long way to demonstrate and show how good you are with that particular knowledge. Be it building dashboard, be it building pipelines, be it web scraping and doing also the wonderful things that also the wonderful things pertaining to data engineering. Those projects is more or less like it's just like you giving an assurance to recruiters and to anybody that finds you, maybe finds your portfolio, that yes, what I said I can do, I can really do it. But before let us now look at some of those projects that's going to give you a second look, or if possible, get you hired in an organization. Some of the top projects that we have in data engineering, data science, and data analysis. So quick one. Let's start with the first one, which is the web scraping. And as we know, what is web scraping? Web scraping is the process, is the art of extracting, calling through the web and extracting data from the web. And I have a project that I'm going to be showing you on this same web scraping. So you're going to see what we did in that project, how we solved it, and the impact that we got from solving this project. And also, one thing I also want you to know is that every project I'm going to be showcasing here this evening, where I am this evening, is or rather a project that we do, or we have done, and we are doing, or we are about to do with current analytics participants. And it is something you can do, or you can learn how to do if you join the analytics trade. So for web scraping, so as you go, okay, let's do a quick refresh on this. Logis. once in a while this misbehaves. So while that's still loading, so what was the goal for this project? The goal was to develop a system that gets hotel, that gets hotel listing from an hotel, from an online hotel repository. And this, one way or the other has to, help a particular business directory company called BizInfo get accurate information in their hotel listing. So I guess it's up so I can show you what I have. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, this project was, was in the entirety was to go into the particular, page, get the content, get the hotel data from the online repository, and bring it back to what? To BizInfo's hotel directory. They have a database where they store the state, and they needed the data, and everything that we did with, with regards to web scraping were legal. Right? We're legal because web scraping sometimes can be very, very illegal, but we are not, analytics doesn't preach anything illegal. Everything we did there was legal, was ethical, everything, where we went, where we are supposed to go to, and we took what we are supposed to take, not what we are supposed to take. So from, connecting, how we solve this from connecting to the web page, to calling to the particular web page and extracting, as you can see, this code. You might not understand, but as you can see, as I as stated here, extract hotel data. While we have gotten connection to the hotel data, extract it, get whatever information you want to get, transform it, and then you can now decide to store it in some sort of maybe storage device, maybe like a flat file like CSV, or inside a database or a data warehouse. And what is the impact? What are the impacts? When we did the scraping, I would have shown you the site, but the site is kind of down right now. But this was the impact. As you can see, look at this wonderful piece of data that we have. Still loading up. Okay, it appears. Okay, let me just put it up again. Okay. Oh yes, interesting. Logins, I just want to make sure everything is, it's all right from, my hand here. But let's not waste too much time on that. So, we have a data that we scraped. Don't know why it's not coming up. I guess maybe some errors with this GitHub portfolio. But still, what were the impacts? Don't let that delay us, let that cut our flow. So what were the impacts? This one way or the other boosted the reliability of BizInfo's hotel directory, and also improved the accuracy and completeness of BizInfo data. And one way or the other we added process to regularly update the company's data through web scraping. So we don't just want to be left or stuck with old and kind of outdated data. We want to make sure everything that we are having is fresh, is accurate, and is complete. If it were not complete, we also added some systems that reach out to the hotel and consign and get their complete information. So web scraping has, the purpose of web scraping to businesses, sometimes is to, in case the business have a rival, they want to do some price comparison, they want to, know one or two things about the startup business that is readily available online, which, they can't ask, upfront. They can, you can just go through web scraping. But of course, it has to be legal, it has to be ethical, which is what we, did here. So another project that we embark on was database optimization. So one thing you need to know about database optimization, if you know a database, you should know the database is to store data. Not just for storage, you can also use it to retrieve the data. And sometimes we carry out, analytics on a database. So one thing if you have heard the word optimization before, you should know optimization means, upgrade or an update, or to make something work better than it has been working before. And if you know how to optimize database, which is something data engineers do, this is for data engineers, by the way. This is something data engineers do a lot. They optimize the database, make sure everything is looking good and everything is working fine or better than it was, working before. And this, project that we did was for LZ Pharma. And they had like critical data across their inventory operations and their research schemas, and they needed to make to update it. They needed to optimize it. They needed to make things faster, if you ask me. And what was what was their problem at first? They struggled with inefficient queries. They had weak data governance. They lacked analytic support, and that's what we and the analytic participant team of analytic participants came in to solve. And what we did, what was the importance of what we're trying to do for them? We had the improved transaction speed, and we enhanced their data integrity, and we also provided them with what reliable analytics. And some of the things that we did, some of the steps, how we solved this particular problem, we designed schemas, we indexed, we added something we call indexing and constraints, where we did partitioning. We also created something we call materialized views, or for analytics, and so on and so forth. Also added access controls, and everything we used was just the PostgreSQL and some other tools like Python and Faker and the likes. And one way or the other, it had impact on their database, where it improves the transaction, just like I've said earlier. It enhanced the data quality, and it made the analytics more reliable. So another project that you can have under your belt, another project that you can learn how to do with analytics, is the database optimization. Also, we have ETL pipeline development. I know you must have heard about ETL, you must have heard of pipelines, or you must have heard of pipeline development. Well, yes, it's one common thing in the data engineering space. And one way or the other, if you should know, it also helps the data scientist and also helps the data analyst. So data scientists, data analysts, data engineers especially must know or must have projects that involves what pipeline development. For us and for some of us that don't know what ETL means, ETL means extract, transform, load. And from what let me go by it again: extract, transform, load. And from what I've just said, you can easily guess the meaning. What that does is to extract data from somewhere, transform it, and load it. And once you load it, you can use it to do whatever you want to do. And this was where we did something like that, where we were interacting with an API, wanted to extract data from an API. This data contains the UK regional carbon intensity data. So carbon intensity has to do with how it shows the how will I put it now, the electricity consumption in a particular region, in a particular perhaps area, or in your house. So we wanted to extract those data, wanted to carry out some analysis on it, and if possible, build a model, something data analysts and data scientists do. Data scientists would analyze data analysts will analyze, data scientists will build machine learning model. And what we did, how we solved it, created a script that's going to fetch the carbon intensity forecast from the UK regions through an API, and an API then transform it. Then we loaded it into PostgreSQL, we loaded it to CSV. PostgreSQL is for the analyst, CSV is for the data scientist. So another project that you should have under your belt, no doubt, is the ETL pipeline development. Let me do a quick recap. Starting from the beginning, we have web scraping, we have the database optimization, we have the ETL. If you're following me, why don't you type the meaning of ETL in the chat box quickly? Let's go, guys. I remember they mentioned, something like that. Okay, Reginald, I just saw your comment. Does anyone need prior knowledge of SQL and database before picking this program? Whether you have prior knowledge or not, you are good to go. If you don't have prior knowledge, it's something that we can teach you from scratch, where you can go from zero to hero, from newbie to a boss, a guru in database administration, or working with SQL as a data engineer. Thank you so much, Fitz. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I don't know even the rest of us are following, but if you are following me, just type in the meaning of ETL in the chat box while we move on. Okay, so let's move on, guys, and move on to the last, last but not the least project that we should have under our belt as data engineers, data scientists, and data analysts. And this project, data warehouse modeling. If there's something you need to know about a data warehouse, is that it is a hub or a centralized repository for storing data. And what, I know you're going to have, but we have a database for that, right? Yes, we do have a database for that. But the purpose of the warehouse, while it's a it's a repository for storing data, is that it's for analytics. Now, whenever you are doing analytics, you are running all sorts of complex queries together. And in a database which is mainly built for something we call transactional data processing, cannot handle such queries. It's going to be lagging, it's going to be slow. That was why a warehouse needs to be developed. And that was the case with what we had here. This e-commerce company, needed their data, needed their data to be accessible by the analytics team. Not like it wasn't accessible before, it was, but like we see, as you can see here, was making analytics very difficult. And one of the reasons why you want to be hired as a data engineer, one of the reasons why you want to be hired as a data scientist, one of the reasons why you want to be hired as a data analyst is to be able to solve or simplify whatever problems that they are facing. And having this kind of project under your belt shows that yes, you are very, very okay with working with data. Now, how did we solve it? So by optimizing the PostgreSQL server and using the draw.io, we were able to design a conceptual dimensional model, using something we call the star schema. And I have the design that we made for this particular warehouse. So as you can see, we have one table at the center, and we have the other tables surrounding it, feeding in data from their various table into this single table. One way or the other, we call them a relationship. So this table here has relationship with all 4 tables surrounding it, just like a star that has 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, or whatever number of points, and a central point at the middle. That's just how this looks like. It doesn't really look like a star, but this is what we call the star schema. And by building this, the impact we made by building this, how what solution did we prefer? We help in creating an hybrid data processing system. Normally it was OLTP before, but by the reason of us adding this data warehouse or modeling this data warehouse and designing it, we have created an analytical data processing system, thereby making that server or making that database hybrid. We also input query performance. Remember I said this project was initiated because it was making analytics difficult. Well, yes, we made it not less difficult, rather we made it very much easy, and something that you would love to do, as as cumbersome as analytics can be sometimes. And we also gave way for faster and accurate data-driven decision making. When analytics is not difficult, it's easy. Analytics is fast, and when analytics is fast, data-driven decision making is also fast. So these are some of the projects that you can have under your belt as a data engineer, data scientist, or data analyst. You can incorporate some of these projects. You can even join all of them together. It's not compulsory you do them, it's not compulsory you do them separately. You can incorporate all these 4 projects into a single project, making it a super project, and making it that recruiters or hiring managers would want to be interested in you as a candidate, to whatever job that you are applying for. And like I said, all these projects were projects that have been built, we are building, and we are about to build with analytics participants. And it is something that you can do, something that we're going to make easy for you to understand, and something that we're going to make easy for you to do, if not even you doing better than what we have done here. And that can be possible if you join the analytics train. And that will be all from my own end this evening. If you want to hear more about how to come on the analytics train, Mobolaji is going to be ushering you into that session right now. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much, Udrayo. That was a very fantastic session. I think there was a lot of things that I learned, and it just shows to, literally help us understand the perspective through which, the job market has absolutely shifted. So things are different now, right? So the reason why we are actually hosting this live webinar is such that, we have an idea, the type of project that we want to host in our portfolio. You're looking to land a job, recruiters no longer really care if you have a certification, okay? They don't really care if you went to a fancy school. Like what they care about is, have you used a couple of tools before? So now you say you're a data engineer, you want a data engineer job. Have you used a couple of tools before? What did you use them to do? Can you show us where and what you did? Okay. Now, if you are able to present some very relatable, very some projects that are very, very important, okay, so what the company is all about. Okay, you just literally give yourself a boost amongst all of the applicants that are considering. Because if the company can sense value in you from the onset, that this is some of the things that we do at our company, and we see that some of your experiences relate to some of these things. So there are some projects that just exist in every sector. Okay, and pretty much the corporate workforce, space, there are some type of projects that just shows that you've been around for a while. There's some type of projects that just gives you that experience so that they know that, okay, this person has been in the tech space for a while. Now, those are the kind of projects that we just walked you through. Now, we have an entire program, okay, that handles all of the trainings that we talked about in detail. So we walked you through some projects in data engineering, data analyst, and the likes, right? We have an entire program that you'll be able to work on multiple projects, such that at the end of the training, you will have close to 10 projects in your portfolio, if not more than 10 projects for some career paths. All right. So you having this wealth of experience in your portfolio, right? It's very easier for you to be able to walk your interviewer, your recruiter through whatsoever they need to clarify that, okay, to be able to, give you that credibility right there. So what happens is this: at Analytics, we have over 8 different programs, right? That you can come in and begin your tech career path, you begin your journey. And what you want to understand is all of these 8 programs, we've done our research, we've done our filtering, and we filtered all of the top jobs that we scraped from the top job boards. We filtered all of these jobs through 3 major lenses. Okay, so we want all of the jobs that we are training for here at Analytics to be jobs that are easy to learn. Number one, easy to learn. Number two, ease of transitioning. So what that means is, if you don't even have a computer science background, you didn't study computer engineering in school, you still want to go ahead and still, have an interest in transitioning into the tech space, you can definitely come for programs that we offer. These programs, they do not need that background for you to get into them and then land the job. Right? We have testimonials, open testimonials about people that are coming from an absolutely non-tech related background, that are coming into our program, to pick up a skill, to brush them up, give them the right packaging, put them on the right path, and they are landing roles. So these are people that didn't even go to school for computer science, right? So you want to be rest assured that you can transition very easily. And then final thing is, all the programs that we offer here at Analytics, they have a high rewarding salary. Okay, all of our programs, they have a high rewarding salary. All right. Now, before we went ahead to select all the programs that we are training, okay, we did a careful, research where we consulted the World Economic Forum. Now, the World Economic Forum is a professional body that releases the future report of jobs. Okay, so they let you know which jobs are going to be high in demand, which jobs are literally declining, and they were able to curate some of them. Okay, they forecasted that over 170 million jobs will be created by 2030, 5 years' time, and over 92 million jobs are going to disappear. So it just makes sense that if you're looking to get into the tech space or literally looking to learn any job role right now, you want to migrate towards the jobs that are going to be available in recent times. Okay. And at Analytics, we've done all that research. We made sure that all the programs we're offering here at Analytics, they are, career paths that are on the rise. Okay. They are on the rise. Now we have a couple of them here, the fastest growing jobs. So this is a chart showing us the fastest growing jobs of 2025. We have the first one on the list, on the chart, rather, the big data specialist. So whenever we hear the big data specialist, who are these guys? They are the data analyst, the data scientists, and the data engineers. These are the big data specialists, right? So if you're looking to get into any of these roles, these are the fastest growing roles in 2025. Well, the next on the chart is the fintech engineers, the finance tech engineers, right? We have the AI machine learning specialist, right? So this is under the data science program. So if you have any affinity for AI, you want to come through the data science program. We offer the data science program. Then, we have the data warehousing specialist, which we also have the data engineers amongst them. And so these are some of the job roles that are in high demand, all right? And then we can see other job roles that are dropping in demand. So they are declining, all right? So people that want to start looking to get into news right now, you don't want to be looking at, for example, social work and counseling professionals, right? The role is dropping, right? Chemical processing plant operators, right? Relationship managers, right? Sheet and structural metal workers, financial and investment advisors, all of these roles, they're currently still available, but they are on the decline. And there are roles that are on the rise. There are roles that, the demand for them is literally going higher and higher. And we have done our research and we have all of those roles, amongst the programs that we train here at Analytics. Now, if you come in for the program, all right, this is a couple of roles that you can apply to as a data analyst, so data scientist, so data engineer. So what you want to understand is we have a general title role, okay, that talks about, data analyst, right? But that's not the only role associated with that career path. So as a data analyst, you can land roles in business intelligence analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistic analyst, supply chain analyst, and the likes. As a data engineer, you can land roles in analytics engineering, BI engineering, AWS cloud engineer, Azure cloud engineer, GCP cloud engineer, and the likes. So again, these roles are just the generic, title name, all right? The list of jobs you can apply to, they are unending, right? So these jobs, these career paths, they literally offer you that expands opportunity when it gets to applying for jobs. So now, there was something that happened earlier this year, all right? And, events, pretty much last year, leading up until this year, have, been conditioning the job market to be like that of late. So the job market is absolutely shifting, where, like I was saying earlier, recruiters are no longer so interested in your certification any longer. Nobody cares. Okay. What they care about right now is your skill set. So we're gradually moving away from that certificate-based system to a skill-based system, right? Now, this is the approach that you need to be able to get into the tech space. So earlier this year, Elon Musk was, on his Twitter, and he put up a tweet where he was asking for, software engineers, developers, and things like that. But it was funny what he said. He said that he didn't care if he went to any school at all. You didn't care if you went to a fancy school. You didn't care if you have worked at Google or whatever. All you need to do to work with the Elon Musk team, whether it was X, Tesla, SpaceX, whichever, all you need to do is provide us your code. Just show us your code. Show us something you have done before. And then we can see your thought process. We can take it up from there, right? Because all recruiters are looking for right now are professionals that have the skill set to get the job done. So if all you need right now is a skill to be able to land a high paying role, first of all, you want to make sure that the job that the career path that you're gunning for is the right fit for you. Okay, if the entry barrier into the tech space has been absolutely dropped, okay, you want to make sure that you go in as fast as you can. Number two, you want to make sure that the program you're going in for is the right fit for you. And we have a program, we have a session here at Analytics called the Clarity Session, where we help people figure out which career path is absolutely the best one for them. But I'm going to walk you through the data engineering program this evening, the data science program, the data analytics program, those three programs. And then, you are going to see which one is the best fit for you amongst those three. Okay, if there is one that you want there, and then you can quickly go ahead and lock in your spot, join the community. Okay, that's what happens. That's what's going to happen in a couple of minutes. So now, before we get there, before I walk you through the complete toolkit to land data analyst, data engineer, data science role in 2025, so we're going to be having a little bit of interaction here where I'm going to need us to respond in the chat. Okay. Now, this is trying to put together all of my points where I'm trying to make us understand that right now is the best time to get into the tech space. All the barriers, all the resistance has been pretty much dropped to the barest minimum. All you need to do is pick out a particular program that you feel like is the best one for you, right? Get into a structured community, get into a system that is structured, that have up-to-date curriculum, learn in a group, learn in a community. All right, when you're learning by working on projects, learning by being hands-on. Develop a portfolio for yourself, then start applying and make sure that you sharpen your professional image. All of these are just the packaging that you need to get into the tech space. And at Analytics, we already have all of those structures in place. The community, the live training, the self-paced videos, the mentorship sessions, the CV review, the LinkedIn optimization, all of this is already available here at Analytics for you. So now, this is the engagement that I want us to do real quick. Okay, so this is just to know those that are following, all right? Now, let's assume you are going on a trip. Okay, I'm going to need a response in the chat. Let's assume you are going on a trip, a very important trip. You woke up in the morning and then you got into your car. Well, you turn on the ignition, but the car is not starting. Okay, so now you are in a crossroad. You need your car fixed ASAP, right? But here you have two mechanics. One of the mechanics is a graduate from Harvard University, mechanical engineering, but he does not have a showroom. He does not have a showroom that, he doesn't have a workspace a workshop where you can see the cars that he has worked on. Okay. All he's letting you know that, all he's trying to do to give you the confidence that he can fix your car in this dire moment is a piece of paper, just a certificate that shows that I finished from Harvard. But on the other side, you have this mechanic who does not have all this fancy education, but has a workshop. Yeah, and then he has cars that he has worked on. He has worked on BMW, Benz, Aston Martin. Can show you all of this. Can show you all of the processes that he went through. But he does not have any fancy certificate. He did not go to school. He did not go to Harvard. Which of these mechanics are you most likely to give your car to fix your car? So if you're going for the Harvard engineer, I want you to drop a this in the chat. But if you're going for the roadside engineer, I want you to drop a that in the chat. So let's go. So who are you giving your car to? So I can see Nicola saying that all day. All right. So Akin Sheye, as Akin Sheyo saw, Emmanuel, also that. All right. I can see Debbie also giving a dot. Right. So, okay, also, someone else is dropping a dot. HMD Global dot. Right. So that just follows the Oyela King Moise that Yanoloa that fantastic. So we're all following. So that just gives us, I mean, if we can see into that scenario, we're not bamboozled by an Harvard certificate. We the man without a degree. So Abdullah says it's been for the man without a degree, right? So if we can that are not, recruitment professionals, right? We can see that, having some sort of proof to show that you've done this thing before, having some sort of proof that show that you can use this tool, okay? And we are moved by that more than just a certification. That means that, you know, the entire job market has shifted and you want to tilt towards that. What that means is this, as somebody who is entry level, you can land a senior role if you can prove to the hiring manager that you can do what a senior professional can do. It has gotten that crazy. So somebody can start off on an entry, somebody who is just learning, who's supposed to land an entry level role, is landing a senior level role. This has happened before when I think someone joined analytics and their first job, I think it was a data science job, was landing over £50,000. These are not entry level roles. This was way over. And this was like, I think 2 years ago or something, right? So that can happen. The barrier has absolutely been shattered. Now, the amount of work you put in determines, what you get right now. Okay. So now that's why you want to have a structured approach to your learning. You want to make sure that you're learning you're learning the right thing, you're learning it well. Okay. And then you also have the right package to present yourself to, the stakeholders. For example, one of the things we do here at Analytics is the LinkedIn optimization. Why are we optimizing LinkedIn? It pretty much just makes you more visible. So LinkedIn is actually one of the highest recruiters of tech labor. Okay, so I think last year alone, LinkedIn did over $10 billion in revenue. Now, what that means is your next job could literally be flying on LinkedIn as we speak right now. Excuse me, please. All right. So as I was saying, your next job could literally be flying on LinkedIn as we speak, because LinkedIn is literally that, number one professional hotspot. So you want to have your LinkedIn profile optimized. You want to make sure that when recruiters, stumble on your page, they are forced to take a second look, a third look, and shoot you a DM for an interview offer, things like that. But that is what you are going to be getting when you join the community and then you get into all those LinkedIn optimization sessions. So once you have all of this in place, landing a job will be the easiest thing. Okay, landing a job will be the easiest thing. At Analytics, we have what we call the job offer. The job offer is the job offer equation. Pardon me. We have what we call the job offer equation. And job offer equation is actually equals to T plus E equals job offer. What is that? T stands for the technical skills. E stands for the employability skills. Now, let me quickly walk you through some of the technical skills that you will need to land a data engineering role, data analyst role, or a data scientist role. So now, let's start off with data. Let's start off with data engineering. Okay, so let's have data engineering. So now, as a data engineer, we all know. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be walking us through, the core differences between the data engineer, a data analyst, and a data scientist. Okay, so now once I explain three of these programs, you are going to be, you are going to be more clear. You're going to have more clarity as to which program, would actually be the best one for me to start my journey in. Again, like I said earlier, it's most important that you pick the program that is suitable for you. Now, every program has their challenges, but if you pick a program that is suited for you, for your personality type, for your technical expertise, you would most always be successful in that path. When the challenges come, your passion will help you drive through. Okay, so now let's start with the data engineering program. Now, data engineers, who are these guys? What do they do in any organization? Okay, let's see if there's something that fits into your space, that fits into your type, okay, your personality. Now, data engineer is that professional that is responsible for designing, constructing, and maintaining the infrastructure that allows for the storage and the retrieval of data. Now, what did I just say? What I said is a data engineer is responsible for the architecture of a company's database, how a company's database looks like. Okay, so the company has different departments. Okay, now the different departments are generating data, right? And so we have the sales, we have the operations, we have marketing. Okay, and then so every department is generating their data, all right? And we need all of this data rightly logged in the right format, in the right structure, so that it is efficient for quick retrieval. Now, a data engineer is the one responsible for setting up a company's database, all right? Creating tables that can house data, that can house information, right? Hosting all of these tables in the right relational database management, right? Management tool. So that is, at the foundational level, data engineer is responsible for, a company's data architecture. And what are other things that they do? Okay, so for example, you want to understand that a data engineer is also that professional that is responsible for, or that does what we call web scraping or data scraping or data extraction. So for example, a company might need some new data, or a company might be looking to make an analysis, right? But the data that they're trying to analyze is on another website, another page, right? Now, a data engineer can set up some pipelines, right, that can go ahead to scrape data from wherever the data is, originating from. Okay, and then 1 second, please. All right. So like I was saying, like a data engineer can absolutely go forward to that particular website that has that, information that they need, and then script that website. Script that website, get the data flowing through the pipeline into a storage. So a data engineer, in short words, can extract the data from the source. Now, have this data move in a pipeline into a data warehouse that the data engineer has created, then make sure that the data is rightly formatted in the right format. So you see that a data engineer is at that, foundational level in the data space. So a data engineer, if they don't make the database available, if they don't make, the database well structured, the data analyst and the data scientist, they will not have any data to work with. A data analyst would not have a data to analyze. A data scientist would not have a data to, train their models on. So you see that the data engineer is occupying that very much foundational space in the tech, in the data ecosystem. All right. So now, what are you going to be exposed to when you come in for the data engineering program, here at Analytics? So you'll be exposed to number one, introduction to data engineering. 1 second, please. All right. So like I was saying, okay, what are the key learning areas that you are going to be exposed to when you come in for the program? So the program is very beginners friendly. All our training here at Analytics, very beginner friendly. So we're starting with the introduction to data engineering. Then we are going to be teaching you SQL. So for those that have heard about SQL and those that haven't, SQL is the short form for the structured query language. It is the language of the database. So this is a language that you're going to be using to set up a database, to query a database and all of that. You're going to be learning Python. So Python programming language for a data engineer, Python is all right. So for a data engineering, Python is actually a very, very important program that it's you have to be there. You have to understand Python. Okay. So if you're somebody who does not really like Python, you're somebody who does not have, who does not have a flair for coding, all right, and you're scared, you don't want to learn programming language like coding, all right. So data engineering might not be the route for you. Data engineering might not be the route for you. Okay, so we have another route that would actually be able to give you that soft landing, and I'll get there in a bit. Okay, but data engineers, they are big on, using Python. Then you're going to be exposed to the Linux operating system, how to build custom ETL pipelines. So like I said, these are pipelines. Pipelines are basically, all those data architecture that you set up to retrieve data. Wherever the data is originated to where you need it stored. Those are the pipelines. Then you're going to learn Apache Spark, Apache Airflow for your data pipeline automation, then cloud engineering. So another thing you want to learn how to do as a data engineer is to be able to set up a cloud architecture. So a data engineer is the one responsible from helping a company move their entire database, the entire system from the on-premise to the cloud. So if you hear about data architecture, if you hear about cloud architecture, if you hear about, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, AWS, right? Data engineers actually do make use of that a lot because they help a company to be able to set up their data, base, the data warehouse in the cloud or on the cloud. So you'll be learning how to use GCP, that's Google Cloud Platform. You learn how to use Azure and also AWS. Then finally, GitHub for version control and ChatGPT and GitHub, Copilot. So these are the tools that you'll be learning, in the data engineering program. These are the tools that you'll be learning. These are some of, projects that you'll be working on as a data engineer. So now let's move into the data analyst program. Okay, let's move into the data analyst program. Now, the data analyst, who are these guys and what do they do in an organization? Who are these guys, the data analyst, and what do they do in an organization? All right, so a data analyst is just basically that professional that helps an organization to, gain more awareness of their data. Okay, so you want to help an organization gain more awareness of their data, then you employ a data analyst. Okay, good. I wanted to be sure that my screen was still visible. All right, there now. So a data analyst, right, they have two major responsibility in any organization. Okay, this is how you know them. Number one, the descriptive analytics. A data analyst is responsible for carrying out descriptive analytics. And what does descriptive analytics means? It means you're helping a company understand what happened in the data from the word describe, what happened. Now, the data analyst also does the diagnostic analytics, which is why an event happened. That's for diagnostic analytics. So a data analyst can help a company understand how much they made last year, how much they made each quarter of the year, which quarter of the year did we make the highest income? Do we have more male or more female customers? Do we have more male bringing in most profits? Do we have the female bringing in most profits? Which region do we have most of our customers located? All of these are descriptive analytics. So, and they are all very, very important for the organization to be able to make an informed decision whenever they are looking to, drive a business plan or business, growth process. They need data to back it up. And you as a data analyst, you're the one who make the data available for the company. But that's not all. You would also be doing the diagnostic analytics. So the diagnostic analytics is answering the question, why an event happened. So for example, why did we make the most amount of money the fourth quarter of last year? What happened? I mean, why did that happen, right? So now you can begin to drill down as a data analyst to begin to do some correlation between, or did we increase the marketing budget, on the fourth quarter? Trying to find a correlation between the marketing budget increase and the revenue generation. Did we run some social media campaign that drove traffic, to the website? Trying to find a correlation. All of these are diagnostic analytics. Okay, you could be analyzing for seasonality index, trying to find out a pattern, and all of these things helps you to, answer the diagnostic analytics question for a company. So because when a company understands why an event is happening, so for example, this is why we made this amount of money. Now the company can then leverage on that act and then begin to use that on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, right? So that is why a data scientist, rather a data analyst, is very, very useful in companies for answering descriptive and diagnostic analytics questions for a company. Now, how do you get to do this? How do you get to build up enough skills to be able to, answer descriptive and diagnostic analytics in any company? So that is where we come in here at Analytics, with the key learning areas. We're going to teach you problem solving. So how do you approach a problem from a data analyst standpoint? All right. How do you approach a problem from a data analyst standpoint? All right. So we have the CRISP DM framework of problem solving. All right. That is a data framework that spans the end-to-end life cycle of data projects. So you're learning about the business, objectives. You're learning about the data. All right. You're learning about how to prepare to clean the data. You're learning about how to model your data, learning about, deployment, evaluation and deployment, right? So that is, an approach that you want to take whenever you're working on data projects. Okay, we're going to teach you how to think like a data analyst, right? And then we're going to teach you how to use Excel. So how do you use Microsoft Excel as a data analyst, not just for some regular spreadsheet, routine? How do you start? How do you get into analysis in Microsoft Excel? So it's a full end-to-end course in Excel. We're going to teach you. Then SQL, like I was saying earlier. Now, I said it earlier, the data engineer uses SQL to set up a database. A data analyst, on the other hand, uses SQL to query that database. They are trying to get information from that database. That's what they use SQL for, basically. Now, the Power BI, the Power BI and Tableau, they are business intelligence tools that you're also going to be learning. Okay, they are powerful data visualization tools. So they help you make your data come alive. All right, they make your analysis more visually appealing. Okay, so you're going to be learning how to build dashboards and all of these things in Power BI and Tableau. Then how do you tell a data story? All right, then ChatGPT for analytics and Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. So we're going to teach you how to be able to use AI to be able to automate your data analytics. How can you use AI to increase your productivity in data analytics? Okay, so that is the data analytics, spectrum of operations. Now, the final one I'm going to explain is the data science, all right? And the data science is just, should I call it advanced data analytics? Now, the data scientists can do three major things. Like I said earlier, the data analysts, they handle two major questions, descriptive and diagnostic. Now, a data scientist can answer three major questions: descriptive, diagnostic, and predictive analytics. So they can do everything a data analyst can do, and they can even do more. All right. So a data scientist then needs to know everything a data analyst can, needs to know everything a data analyst knows. So talk about Excel, talk about SQL, talk about Tableau, problem solving. These are all the modules that we are still going to walk you through in the data science program. But we're going to be exposing you to more. So statistics, forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel, Python programming. So Python is another thing that you want to look out for. So if you're somebody that you don't mind learning Python, okay, data science can offer you that broader opportunity, in the market, right? If you're somebody who has ever had any passion, for AI. You want to understand the intricacies of AI, how AI really works in the background, or how to be able to get more from AI, right? Data science is also a place that you want to start your career from because AI is a subset of data science, right? So you're going to be learning Python, exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, GitHub for version control, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding, and Microsoft Fabric for analytics. So these are the key learning areas for the data scientist. And these are, the three major, or should I say, these are the core differences between all of these programs. So now, like I was saying, for you to land a job, you need a mix of the two, the technical trainings and the employability services. All right. So, because the truth is this, once you actually get coming for the program, you're trained and you're done with the training, you just, for example, if you're coming for the data analyst program, you just join the pool of thousands of data analysts out there. What is going to separate you from all of these guys? Okay. Again, that's where we come in here at Analytics with the employability services. Like I said earlier, by helping you with your CV review and revamp, your LinkedIn optimization, navigating the job market. So this is very interesting. A lot of our students like this part because what we have done is we have gone ahead to make payments to some premium job websites. And we get premium jobs, send them to our students to apply for on a weekly basis. All right. That way you increase your chances of landing an interview rather than struggling with jobs that have racked up over 100 applicants traffic in just 1 hour. So you see a job out there on Google Jobs, Glass Jobs, all those major job boards, and in 1 hour of uploading the job, you have like 100 applicants already. So what the chances of landing a role in that particular pool has actually dropped. So what about you applying to jobs that you have like just 20 applicants? That increases your chances of landing an interview. Okay, so this is what we have done. So you will be getting all those premium jobs on a weekly basis in your LMS. So this is a private thing, it's only for the students, right? So once you are registered, you'll be getting all those premium jobs to apply to, which will help you get more interviews, right? And then when you get the interview, we'll prepare you for the interview before you actually go in. Then you have the job reference letter whenever you need it. You have the on-the-job support whenever you need it. You have weekly mentorship sessions and Upwork optimization. So these are, some of the employability services that you will be getting. And you would have the unique opportunity of including Tenalytics and or Amdari on your CV. These are companies, for example, Tenalytics, the company where you're going to be learning. Amdari is the company where you will be, having your internship. So the entire program is an 8 months program. It's an 8 months program that is splitted into two. So you have 6 months of in-class training where you're learning all the technicalities, and then you have 2 months of internship where we'll pass you to another company where you can gain more real life business case scenario, work on more real life projects and increase your confidence out there. So you can literally add either of these countries to either of these companies rather. So you can literally add either of these companies to your CV, to your resume as a work experience. All right. So now after that, um, I'm just going to quickly walk us through some of our success stories. Okay. So I know we have this question about, okay, for example, now that you are literally pitching this program to me, can I see some people that have come in for this program and I'll be able to land, jobs as either data engineers or data scientists, data analysts, and so forth. All right. So we have a couple of them. So you can see the first person on the list, Michael Oseyemi, landed his first role in tech as a sales engineer in a software company in the UK after completing his data engineering program with us. Right now, what he said was he was absolutely elated on how the mentorship and the interview prep helped him land the role. So Michael was able to identify that the mentorship, the weekly mentorship program, and the interview prep was a key determinant in him landing the role. Okay, so again, you see all the structures that we have put in place, they're literally very helpful at the end in landing the role. We have Idris Adebisi here, who landed the data engineering role with Jaguar, see, Jaguar Land Rover in the UK as a senior analytics engineer. Okay, so we were able to provide reference for him when he needed that. Okay, we're able to provide reference for him when he needed reference. So also we have Abdul Rashid on the next slide. Abdul Rashid is actually a Nigerian and is resident in Nigeria, and he landed a job, a data scientist job, with Chow 420 in the US. So Abdul Rashid is currently working remotely and is earning in foreign currency. How amazing is that? So that is another, you know, benefit of transitioning into tech. You can literally be in your base country and you're working absolutely abroad, earning in foreign currency, earning in dollars, pounds, and the likes. All right, now, so we have, a host of, testimonials right here, testimonials upon testimonials. We have people that come in, people that came in for the program, landed data analyst role. You can see Tony, as a lady on the left, all right? She landed a data analyst role with the NHS as a benefit analyst, and the job came with full visa sponsorship. Okay, so you're going to be getting, all the insider tricks, all the insider tidbits to how you can absolutely hack the job market, especially in the UK. I think Tenalytics, we have hacked the NHS because we have a whole lot of our alumni, working at the NHS. So it's almost like when they see Tenalytics on your CV, they know that, okay, this is quality stuff that we have here. All right. So all of these jobs are things that we're going to be teaching you on how to leverage. Now, the question on our mind is going to be, what are the next steps for me? How do I begin my career, right? So the most logical thing for you to do right now is for you to join our August cohort, resuming for the 8th of August. Okay, just in a couple of weeks, we have a cohort resuming for the 8th of August. All right, and this is my free gift to everyone that has stayed up until this time. All right, so if you have remained on this call up until this session, this is the free gift for you. Now, I think we have just about 30 people left on this call, but for the first 200 people to register, right, you'll be paying the discounted amount for the entire program. The entire program originally cost 900 US dollars for the entire 8 months program. Okay, but the discount is going to be enabling you to pay just 750 US dollars, right? So for everybody on this call that can make payments this evening, you get to pay just 750 US dollars instead of the 900 US dollars. And the payment structure is very flexible. Okay, so you can pay in installments. You don't have to pay all at once. You can pay as much as 5 months installments, where you're paying as low as $150 every month for 5 months. That totals to 750, and then you will be good to go. All right, so I'm going to show us how we can make payments, how we can leverage on the enrollment website. Now, there's a link that my colleagues are sharing in the chat. It's going to take you to the enrollment center, okay, where you can make payments. Right. Now, let me quickly show you what you need to do when you land on that page. So once you get on that page, what you want to do is scroll all the way down. Just scroll down. For example, if you want to pay for the data engineering program, you're going to see data engineering right here on my left. So click on register for DE, register for DE. Okay. And that's going to take you to where you can make payments. So this is where you can now officially select, if you want to, pay 5 times, you want to pay 4 times, and all of those stuffs. All right, so now let's assume I'm looking to pay 5 times. All I want to do is I want to scroll down, click on 5 monthly payments, 5 monthly payments. Then I click on secure your seats. I click on proceed. I click on proceed. All right. So now once I'm done clicking on proceed, I put in my information here and I pay for products. Now, once I'm done paying for products, this is the most important part. A receipt will be automatically sent into your email. Go into your email, take a screenshot of that receipt, all right, and then you can come back to this landing page right here. This landing page, scroll to the middle, you see where it says upload your receipt here. All you have to do is click on this, then upload that screenshotted receipt, and voila, we will be able to confirm on our end, match the payment to your name, and then we will have a team member reach out to you, send you your welcome toolkit and the link to onboard you for the program. All right, so that is how you can get started with us by, leveraging on that discount as soon as you can, literally right now. Okay, so that discount is going to be open for this evening for the first 200 people to make payments. For the first 200 people to make payments. All right then. So I think that will be all. So now it's time to take questions. All right. So now if you have any questions that you would like to ask, this is the time you get to, drop your question in the chat. And I can provide all the clarity that you need. So now if you have any questions regarding the payments, when the classes are, what you need for the classes, when we're starting, are we certified, where we're located, whatever questions that you have, feel free to drop them in the chat and I can provide clarity to your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat and I can provide clarity to your questions. So we have the payment link in the chat. So you can go ahead, click on the payment link, go and lock in your spot as soon as you can so you do not lose out on those discounts. Once we have the first 20 people, the discount goes away. So it's a first come, first serve basis for the first 20 people. Okay. So where do we go for data scientists? So Nicholas, data scientist, you're going to see where it says full stack data scientist on the landing page, right, for the enrollment center. So Nicholas, you're going to see where it says full stack data scientist amongst all those catalogs. That is the one you should click on. All right. So I'm going to be answering the questions that are in the chat. So all right, so I think I have, well, this seems like a long question. I'm Ernest, currently studying IT projects management in university. My program started 2025 until December. I'm very interested in data analytics. I appreciate that advice on free time to begin my goals, pushing myself, sponsorship, drive for my visa. for study because now I'm trying to start this progressive and go forward to, to the graduate well official all right, so there is so I can't see your name, but I hope the person is listening to this, to the answer to their question. So okay, there's a name, Ernest. All right, so Ernest, right? What happens is the best time for you to start based off of your background, based off of the scenario that you're painting is literally right now. Because now it takes a little bit of time for you to get grounded, to become a data analyst, to master all of these tools. Now to start, getting very conversant with the job market. Because the truth is, it's not every job that you're going to apply to that you're going to get. All right. So you want to leave that space for job application. You want to also leave the space for the studying. So the earlier you start, the better. Matter of fact, I'm going to advise you, Ernest, to start with the August court. The August court presuming for the 8th of August. All right. Now, when you're done with the program, now not even when you are done, actually, about 3 months into the program, we would already advise the entire cohort to start applying for jobs. Now, even though you're not done with the program, okay, there are some tools and some key learning areas that you have been exposed to that is actually enough for you to land some roles, just some roles in data analytics. So that's why we literally are that confident that you can start applying to jobs. So there is a lot of employability services that you will be getting. All right. So during the mentorship classes, sometimes we're literally helping to understand how to be best, strategic when it comes to your immigration processes, the jobs to look out for, and all of these things, right? So, but first of all, and that's what I'm going to say is, you want to start your program as early as possible. You can start even though you are currently still in school. Now, the program is very flexible. So your classes are only during the weekends. Your live classes are only during the weekend. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time for your live classes, right? And during the week, you have drop-in sessions and mentorship sessions, right? But the classes are very, 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 they are stretched out, very flexible, so that they do not overwhelm you or choke you and all of that. So you can pretty much start while still in school. Okay, we have already factored all of that into the equation. So we know that a bunch of our participants are still students. They're probably working class. They're married. Have trying to raise a family. So our program is very flexible. That's why it's 6 months. So you can actually do other things while you are learning with us. All right. So that works for you, Ernest. And then we can have more chats. You can actually also book a clarity session for anything that you are not clear of, and we can have all those personalized clarity outside this session. So now let's go to the next person. We have Abdullah Akonde says, is it necessary to have computer knowledge before going for this training because of Python programming? So Abdullah, we don't necessarily need to have a computer, background. You don't have to have studied computer science in school or computer engineering or whatever. Now, if you are going for a data science or data engineering program, you would encounter Python. All right. But if you are very open-minded to learning, if you are very open-minded, to learning, okay, we have a beginners friendly approach to training your analytics, all right, such that you are able to learn from the scratch. You are able to learn from the scratch, okay? Now, but for those that are wary of Python, some people are naturally scared of Python. They just feel like it's hard, but they don't want to start their tech career path learning how to code and all of those stuff. Now, for those people, they can start off with data analytics. There's no Python there. Okay. But if you feel like you're ready to test Python, we actually got you. You have the best instructors, but then you can tilt towards the data science or the data engineering route. So now we have Obi. Obi is saying, I'm Mobolaji. Okay. So Obi, I don't know if you talked another thing apart from that. We have Odunayo. What's the mode of learning, please? A Zoom class or a pre-recorded meeting? So for Odunayo, Stella, it's a blend of live classes and self-paced videos. So your live classes are always on Saturdays, right? So you have two live classes as on 2 Saturdays in a month. And then the remaining 2 Saturdays in the month are for your self-paced videos. So 2 Saturdays for the live classes, 2 Saturdays for the self-paced videos. But you are going to be having your instructor in your group chat, in the cohort, the community group chat. So you can have access to your instructor 247. You can reach out to them for whatever concept you need clarity to, or your other peers in the group. You can have all of that sorted out. Okay. So the self-paced video, it means that it's pre-recorded. So you get to watch and learn at your own pace. So self-paced, right? So, but you have to finish the pre-recorded video before the next Saturday, because the next Saturday, the instructor is coming into class live to continue from where the pre-recorded video starts. So that's what that means. All right. Now, we have, I think this, what else is this? Is this also up July? Okay, this is Abdullah again. So Abdullah is saying, please can you advise me on which one among the three trading can I do with my professional job? I'm a land surveyor by profession. All right, so by profession. So Abdullah, what you might want to do is you might want to book a clarity session for this. Okay, so that clarity session, we can have a one-on-one. So my colleague just dropped a chat or a link in the chat right now. Okay, you can book a clarity session for 9 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, and then we can have that one-on-one, conversation. And in that way, I can literally walk you through the program that will be the best one for you. All right, but we can't really do that on this call right now. So Omoba is saying okay, so we're just about 9:30. All right, so Omoba is saying, so Omoba is saying for those working and probably miss some classes, is there a recorded session to go through after the work? Oh, yes, so that has been answered. So what's the difference between full stack data science and data science? Okay. All right. So there isn't a difference between full stack data science. So this is for OB. So it's pretty much just, especially the data science program that we're offering here at Analytics, all right, is the full stack. So the full stack basically means that you get to be able to do everything from your data exploration to your model building to your model, evaluation, then your model deployment. You deploy a model to so that people can have real-time access, not just you, not just the developer. We have the skill set to develop a model into production. So that's where the MLOps, comes in. So that for people that have that full spectrum of knowledge from training a model into like final production, that's what we call the full stack. Okay, and then you'll be exposed to all of that concept in our data science program here. Now we have ML Kinter saying, I, as an economics BSc holder, do you think I should do data science, data engineering to start with? I basically think that you might, okay, so what you want to do is this, ML Kinter, I think a clarity session was added to your question. All you want to do is click on that clarity session, book a 9 a.m. session tomorrow. All right, and then we can trash this out. Okay, so I can literally help you to determine which will be the best one for you. Okay, now, okay, I think I've answered that. How soon does the CV optimization start? So a few months into the program. So your CV optimization starts definitely like about a month into the program. All right, so I think that we are finally good to go. No more questions. So if you have any other questions, just feel free to drop them in the chat before we call it a day. So if you have any other questions, right, feel free to drop your questions before we call it a day. Please do not forget that you want to, yes, so Ernest, I think I already answered your question, Ernest. I think yours was the first I answered, actually, Ernest. All right. But if you still have another, thought, what you want to do is just book that clarity session. There's a link that is attached to your question. Just go ahead, book a clarity session, 9 a.m. tomorrow, whatever time you are, free for tomorrow. Book a session and let's get talking. So we get personal, we get one-on-one, we get all that clarity that you need. Okay. So any other question that we haven't answered on the call before we call it a day? Any other question? I think we are good to go. We are past 9:30. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much. It was such a joy. It was, such a delight to handle this session. And I can't wait to all see us get started, join the community, start building fantastic things. Okay. So till then, cheers everyone and bye for now. All right, so I can see Busola asking a question. So there is no hidden charge. So once you pay for the initial charge, that is going to be all, and all the benefits are lifelong benefits, no extra charges. You're paying just once, and that's all. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye for now.